Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF Bets Race of the Day for Sunday, June the 17th. It's the Grade 3 Poker at Belmont, and you can play it with your very own DRF Bets account. Sign up now, get $100 in free cash. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Here's the field for the Grade 3 Poker. We're going 1 mile on the Widener turf course. Carded is race number 9 at Belmont on Sunday, and you can access free Formulator Pass performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them and handicap along with me. I'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, Force the Pass, who was one of the better 3-year-old turf horses in 2015, sweeping through the Penn Mile at a mile and the Belmont Derby at a mile and a quarter. Pretty impressive indeed. He had a good campaign in 2016, a runner-up in this race, a couple of other stakes placings, but then he missed all of last year with various leg injuries that required surgery. It was nice to see Force the Pass return off such a long layoff to score in his seasonal debut, that in the Cliffhanger Stakes at Monmouth on May the 5th. And Alan Goldberg has good numbers with these kind of horses, as you see from our Formulator fact. Over the past 5 years, with older last-out winners making their second start off a layoff on turf, Goldberg is winning at almost a 30% rate, with a $3.37 return on investment. Force the Pass has good tactical speed, is catching a race with a little bit of pace, but he's going to be stepping up in class. This is a good edition of the poker, and I'm not sure about the caliber of competition he beat in the Cliffhanger last time out. The number 2 is Vulcan's Forge for Todd Pletcher, who started his career as a turf horse, but has recently done his best running on the dirt, especially last time out in the Grade 3 Westchester, going a 1-turn mile at Belmont, where he was only beaten a nose and really running at the back of the pack. He's earned a couple of graded stakes placings on dirt this year, and I'm not sure where he fits on turf at this point. He is a one-run closer that should get some pace, and he does fit very well at this mile distance, but he hasn't raced on the turf in almost a year, way back in August 2017, when he took on Delta Prince, who returned from that win to finish 3rd in the Bernard Baruch with a 99 Beyer speed figure. Something tells me that Vulcan's Forge might need a little bit of a pace meltdown to do his very best. Oscar Performance is the number 3. Force the Pass won the Belmont Derby in 2015. Oscar Performance won that prestigious race last year and then backed that up with another Grade 1 score in the Secretariat. Now, his 2 subsequent starts against older horses didn't go as well. 3rd in the Turf Classic to the very good Beach Patrol, and then in the Breeders' Cup Turf, he was hustled from the far outside post to set some very fast pace while being pressured by some legitimately good older horses. Horses like Beach Patrol, horses like Highland Reel, horses like Talismanic. I'm not going to fault Oscar Performance for faltering in the Breeders' Cup Turf, but you're going to have to take him at a relatively short price at 5-2 on the morning line as he makes his first start of the year in this 1-mile race in a field with other pace horses. Oscar Performance can sit from just off the pace. He might be sitting 2nd or 3rd here, revving up on the turn, and he's a very dangerous and logical contender for trainer Brian Lynch, despite the layoff. Last year's poker winner is the number 4 Bala Rocks, and he is back for another go. He hasn't won since the poker, but he's performed well with a couple of Grade 1 placings, and he got into trouble in the Breeders' Cup Mile 2 starts back, where he was in behind horses, in and among on the far turn all the way into the stretch, and then he finished evenly through traffic in late stretch. He made his seasonal debut in the Makers 46 Mile, and all things considering, he got a very good trip, a pace-tracking, ground-saving trip, but it was the second best trip, and the horse that got the best trip, Heart to Heart, was able to dictate the pace through moderate fractions. Bala Rocks tried hard in the stretch. He just couldn't make up that ground, and that tactical advantage that Heart to Heart held over him turning into the lane. All in all, it was a good performance for a consistent horse that has now earned 5 consecutive triple-digit Beyer speed figures, and his tactical speed should play very well as he tries to successfully defend his poker championship. The number 5, Made You Look, was a talented 3-year-old last year for Todd Pletcher, but he made a winning seasonal debut for Chad Brown off of a pretty long layoff last time out, going a 1-turn mile. He made a very bold 4-wide move on the far turn to take over command in the lane, and then he just held off the classy older runner Inspector Lindley, who was running in a graded stakes race at Churchill Downs on Saturday evening at the wire. It was a good performance for Made You Look, and these are the kind of horses that you really want to keep an eye on. Lightly raced 4-year-olds. He's making his second start as a 4-year-old off a Beyer top. I wouldn't be surprised if Chad has Made You Look seeing dead red right now and he's another horse that will get an advantageous pace scenario. The 6 is Black Tide, and as we see from the Timeform US pace projector, Black Tide looms the speed of the speed, as he was last time out in his first start off a 5+ month layoff, and he gave way to Made You Look. If you want to give him that race, that's fine, and this horse was good enough to win the Mohawk against New York breds 3 starts back when going right to the front and dominating the field. I'm just not sure if this reformed claimer is graded stakes class, especially in a race with other speeds. The 7 and the 4 may not be as fast as Black Tide early, but they have a bit more classy speed, so to speak. Black Tide could be on the front end, but I wonder if he's going to be able to take this good field all the way. The 7 is Voodoo Song, a graded stakes winner at Saratoga last year for trainer Linda Rice, and I really liked what Voodoo Song did last time out, going 7 furlongs against optional claiming competition. He went right to the front, he set legitimate fractions, and he was dead game in the stretch. He is going to be taking on tougher horses, and we'll see if he can be as effective sitting from off of the pace. I know he won his maiden way back in 2016 coming from off of the pace, but this is a horse that made his money, including that grade 3 score in the Saranac last year at Saratoga when going right to the front. I wonder if he attacks Black Tide early and is immediately confronted by Oscar Performance. I'm not sure being in the chase position is great for Voodoo Song. The 8 is Fire Away, going out for trainer Shug McGahee. We have a positive formulator fact for Shug. Over the past 6 months, when moving from dirt to turf, 5 for 12, 42% winners, and a $3.83 return on investment. Fire Away was forced to run on the dirt last time out in the Grade 3 Dixie. That was Preakness weekend, and rain just washed just about everything off the turf. Fire Away handled the wet track just fine, but he's more of a turf horse. He's now won 3 of his last 4 starts. I liked his race in the Danger's Hour, 2 starts back at this distance at Aqueduct, where he came with a 4-wide move on the far turn. I didn't like how he hopped back to his left lead at the end of that race. I think this field is tougher, but he is going to get a good pace scenario, and he should be a good price for McGahee and Manny Franco. So we take a look at my pick for the Grade 3 Poker Stakes. I think Balarox is going to sit behind what should be a solid pace. I think he's going to get a real fair chance turning into the stretch. He won this race last year for Belmont, who's had a good amount of success in the poker over the years. In a single race standpoint, I'm going 4, 8, 3, and 5. In multiple race wagers, I'll lean on Balarox, I'll use Oscar Performance, and I'll also use Made You Look in multiple race wagers like the pick 4. Again, you can play the poker with your very own DRF Bets account. Sign up now, get $100 at free cash at drf.com/bet. Approximate post time for the Grade 3 Poker, Sunday's DRF Bets Race of the Day, 5:50 Eastern. Good luck.